Ladies and gentlemen, przesuńcie kości. We are live. Welcome to the first Raven Squadron X-Wing 2.0 stream. I can see Shanturin is already starting to spam the orc emoji. Thank you very much. Sorry we're a little late. And we noticed a small issue with FFG's printing of the cards for something that just was released at Gen Con. Noticeably, depending on which proton torpedoes you get, it either ignores range bonuses or it doesn't. So I guess this time we're playing with the way that favors Aras or not. So we are playing the way that it works in Aras's favor because Aras is using proton torpedoes, as you can see on the right. Okay, so I know that there's quite a bit of shortcuts because we really can fit everything well. So of course, INI is the new pilot skill initiative, H and S is hull and shield, and then obviously FCS is fire control system, APT advanced proton torpedoes. And that's pretty much it. Anyway, so we'll get started now. On the left side, Lemur has, as you can see, Ketsu Onyo and Guri playing the Scums in X-Wing 2.0. And on the right, Aras, Imperial Scum. I mean, the Empire did nothing wrong, with Redline, Inquisitor, and Suntir Fel. Oh. We'll stand as brothers with Vuk and point out every error. Thank you. We need that. Oh, kurwa. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Let's begin with the deployment of our asteroids. I will comment as appropriate based on whether they're choosing things correctly or not. Aras has the initiative bid. Thank you. I am using a professional microphone, which looks like a snowball. So, initiative has been given to Lemur, who has decided to set up the largest asteroid in the middle of the board. Why? None can say. Aras is beginning by setting up his in the corner. Aras is definitely going to want to, using two aces, get things relatively close together, as he will be able to fly amongst it much, much easier than Lemur on his side, with the big bastard that is Ketsu, Onion. Not an English accent, but thank you, it is sexy. Can you guys speed this up a little bit? Because I really don't know what else to say about rocks. And finally, the last rock has been placed. Aras is taking his time forever, pretending that this isn't a tournament-timed match. Okay. So everyone is basically initiative 5 and above. So Lemur will set up his ships first, having the initiative. Setting up Ketsu to potentially take a straight shot between the bottommost, for you viewers, rocks right there. And Guri on his left flank, Aras is right. I know, right? The following sound is my work, so I am very proud of it. Aras obviously setting up Redline to right away tank and just completely demolish Ketsu as soon as he gets in range with his many munitions. And then deploying them all together for some unfathomable reason. Now, let's go over some differences for those that haven't yet seen the X-Wing 2.0 cards. And here we go, the first planning. So, Redline is pretty much the same as earlier, maintaining up to 2 locks. However, after performing an action, you are able to then acquire a lock, which is definitely useful considering how many munitions he's considering firing. The Grand Inquisitor has Force Powers, which is the newest addition and really the biggest change to X-Wing 2.0, which I think we can all agree with was sorely missing in X-Wing 1.0 considering the number of Force-sensitive pilots. When defending at range 1, he can spend a Force to prevent the bonus, and when attacking someone at range 2 or 3, he can also spend a Force to apply the range 1 bonus. So very similar to what he used to have, but just not as crap. Okay, and Suntir Fel finally uses his Bullseye arc in order to gain a focus token, and has auto thrusters basically built in, giving him a red barrel roll or boost after performing another action. When we started the movement, beginning with Guri, he charges straight ahead, up the left flank, or should I say the top flank, looking from my and your perspective. And Ketsu is moving to join. Yeah, the medium base is strange. Like, it just looks like not quite, but it's just weird. I haven't gotten used to it yet either, but not that I can really fly all that well to begin with. Aras is starting slow, at least with red line. Really, you'd think he'd want to charge up the behind as quickly as possible, but then again, he does have to worry about the rotating arc that the Lancer class pursuit craft has. Some nice flying, keeping in formation. Once again, much better than I would ever do because I already would have had 3 bumps, including red line. Elmer, the resolution is, this is 1080p, it's a full HD camera. So that's the canvas that we've decided to use for this. There isn't really that much post-processing. Okay, and Suntir, of course, goes straight ahead. We have no one, obviously, in range, and so we go to the next planning phase. Now, Lemur, on his side, like I said, has Ketsu Onyo, similarly to before, gives a tractor token if you have a ship that is in both of your arcs at range 0 to 1, so including bumped. And if you have someone like that, you gain 1 tractor token. The only difference really is that now in X-Wing 2.0, we've decided to call the shooting phase, or whatever it used to be called, it's now the engagement phase. Ketsu also has Fearless, as you can see on the left, which here is the difference that the conditions for triggering are exactly the same. However, it's simply changing result as opposed to adding one. So we won't have any more issues with the Fang fighters potentially having 6 hits in 1 shot at range 1, which, as much as I love to use it, was a little bit OP. L337, obviously, who we all know from the Han Solo movie, which is an awesome movie. You should go see it, much better than TLJ. Fight me, Shimon. Allows him to defend by flipping the card, and then the attacker has to reroll all the attack dice. After it's been flipped, it gives him additionally blue 3 banks. Okay, they're all ready to fly, so I'll finish explaining why. Oh, all banks are now blue, which obviously isn't the same as green because they also wanted to change that, I guess, to save on printing costs. Here we go. Booty's ready to pounce on that flank, which is seemingly undefended, but Aras obviously has some trick up his sleeve. Probably an extra stacked critical hit deck, which he'll take out at the worst possible moment for Lemur. I've seen it before. He learned it in a Polish city that begins with W. We are streaming at 1080p, but at the bit rate is 3.5K, as in kilobits second. So it's really the lowest we could go and still keep some fidelity. And we do want to hopefully have the possibility of transcoding in the future, but it's difficult to say when we'll make affiliate. which would potentially let us do that. And heck, if you guys keep on sharing and keep on watching and we reach an average of 75 viewers, then we could even be made partner, which would be a huge boon for us. And anyway, we've set it at 3,200 kilobits, which is about the same as Netflix 720p. It is officially 1080p though. Okay, attempting a target lock by red line, no range. So unlike in X-Wing 1.0 where Aras could then decide to do another movement, any action that you're not able to do is then considered a missed action. So redline is no longer able to do something, whereas previously he would have just said, okay, well then I'll focus or whatever. That is to say, normally that would be the case, but it was a quote-unquote free action after doing his boost action earlier. So what I said still stands. There we go, and Suntir is once again speeding ahead, doing what he always does, which is being a little bastard. And bandwidth limitations it doesn't really matter if you're foreign or not. We're streaming to the either Warsaw or the Frankfurt Twitch server, and it's at 3.2 megabits a second. So whether you're in Poland or abroad, it doesn't really make that much difference. Once again, turn 2 without any combat. So this is amazing to commentate. I hope you guys are as much into this as I am. Okay, so finally, we also have Ketsu has a rigged cargo chute. Same really as before, except now it does require a medium or large base, not just a large base. And spending charges, which are basically used in everything as a sort of replacement for extra munitions, but also just to represent anything that you can only use a limited number of times. You can spend a charge, drop 1 loose cargo using the 1 straight template. So basically the same thing that we used to have. As well as a hull upgrade, hence why I've written hull up there, and title, meaning the Shadowcaster title. So after you perform an attack that hits, if they're in both your arcs, they gain 1 tractor token. So Lemur obviously is hoping that Aras isn't careful and gets a bit too close, which will be tricky considering he has initiative and is flying first, and then can just hit him 1-2 with 2 tractor tokens, allowing Guri to then pounce on a much, much weaker opponent. And hopefully Aras already knew that, because if not, I just spoiled it, and now Lemur is giving me the glare that I just ruined his entire plan. Okay, outmaneuver, no changes. After you perform a primary arc attack, if you're outside their arc, they lose a defense die, or they roll 1 fewer. That's on Guri, of course. Fire control system. So any... Sorry, yeah, forward arc. Yeah, in the forward arc. Fire control system, this has been changed. You'll notice it's on a couple of 3 ships actually this game, which is if you have a lock, you can re-roll 1 attack die and keep the lock, but you can't actually roll more than 1 without spending it, which is useful to keep some modification. What is Ketsu Onion gonna do now? A hard right. Right. Is he going to adjust the arc of the Covenant? Going to focus because he is boring. I will get a huge audience quickly. Obviously, we already have 34, which is more than I've ever had, I think, and I've been streaming for ages. I actually do it for good causes. And it looks like we might finally have a combat, unless it's a... boring. A bump. Now Kith. Does Ketsu have any repositioning abilities? No, not really, no. So Lemur has to hope that he knows how to actually fly, and gets in Aras's head sufficiently to make him start making mistakes and do dumb maneuvers. We'll see how that works out in practice. But considering Aras just before the game said, actually I want to change my list because it's crap, and I didn't let him, maybe Lemur has the advantage here. Of course, it's a target lock. Finally, Suntir. Straight for Ketsu. Ish. Straight-ish for Ketsu. I feel like I should be playing some tunes or more Star Wars music or something like that, because this game is riveting like my commentary. Interesting. Thank you, Elmer. More not good luck, but may the force be with us. Here we go, we finally have an engagement phase where stuff will happen. Guri obviously still has her ability as before, meaning when she's within range of one enemy ship, as in range 0 to 1, she gets a focus token, but it's only one. It's binary. She gets it or she does not. So Suntir does the first attack. And gets... Could you actually put it in view of the camera, please? There we go. And we have 2 crits and a hit. Natural. Lemur rolls a focus, an evade, and what's the other one? And so 2 evades and a focus. Spend the focus or not. Debatable whether the Inquisitor will roll as well, but I don't think the Inquisitor is necessarily firing this time. Well played. Thank you, Gimlet, for the spam, the emoji spam. Now Lemur is debating whether to spend the focus and keep it, decides to actually take the hit and use the focus for the next attack. Please clear your dice, gentlemen. Dice, dice, baby. How do you do the smork emoji? Because I need to know. Okay. So the Inquisitor spends his force power to attack at range 1. Top one a little bit more. Okay. And Aras once again has plenty of shots. 2 evades, but only 1 more shield. So you should have kept the focus. I should have used the focus then. Oh well. As in you... Yeah, but you could have blocked the first one. You had spent the focus, right? From Sunti. That's why you need to roll so that the camera can see it. If the camera can't see it, I can't. That doesn't work. That is how you win an X-Wing. Our previous stream, I destroyed one of Lemur's TIE fighters in basically our first shooting phase by rolling hit, hit, crit, and him blanking out. Because X-Wing is a game about strategy and tactics and absolutely 0 chance. Right, and just quickly finishing up the explanation of the list. Now, Guri also comes equipped with micro thrusters, which is a new thing that they've decided to implement with X-Wing 2.0. And she has to use 1 bank templates when doing a barrel roll, as opposed to the 1 straight as is normal. So kind of implementing as a base the second title that was released in X-Wing 1.0 Guns for Hire expansion. And finally, full upgrade, shield upgrade. Nothing really to say there, we all know what it does. Adding a point. But the thing that's interesting now, which we'll see and why the official app will be really useful, is that they've introduced upgrades with variable costs. So depending on your ship agility, as it turns out, you have various numbers of points. So a whole upgrade, depending on whether you have no agility, or up to 3 can range anywhere from 2 to 7 points. And again, also a reminder, we are looking now at lists with up to 200 points, so a lot of things are seemingly more expensive, but relatively to what they were in X-Wing 1.0 and the 100 point limit, not necessarily. Now finally, the Virago title during the end phase, once again spending a charge, but you can also do a red boost action during the end phase, which he didn't use this time. And it gives you a modification slot, which is how he's able to upgrade a shield and a hull. Typical Aras, yes. Very, very typical. We have quite the puzzle here of how to get red line out of this, still be able to shoot, and not get pounced on and destroyed by Guri. Aras considers this carefully before doing 4 Koyagram, which I'm Punisher actually has. Oh, and that was the Inquisitor's dial, so we still have to wait a bit more. That one has been ready for the past half hour actually, but Aras is debating. Oh, I actually should have started a timer to make this like tournament time, but I didn't feel like it because I don't want to be here all evening, so I am keeping you guys to a specific amount of time. Now, considering it's been at least 10 minutes, started at 65 minutes. How about that? Just keep swimming, just okay. So proximity mine is fired off first using one of the charges that it had available. Now what's also changed here with proximity mine, they've given it a bit of a boost, which is useful. It's now a proximity mine when it is overlapped or a ship, in other words, moves through it. It detonates, same as before. You roll 2 attack dice, same as before. The difference being that you always suffer at least 1 hit, even if you blank out on the dice. So any damage, so critical or regular hits rolled on the 2 dice is extra to the base 1 damage. Which is nice considering that it costs several points and then you have the possibility of just rolling squat, or you had the possibility of rolling nothing in the previous edition. Let's see. Lemwood obviously foresaw that and is BTFOing. Have mine back in place. And see, there we go, the barrel roll being a 1 bank, like I said before, due to the micro thrusters on the Star Viper ships. Throughout PL, we will have, I think, I can't actually remember now. Are we doing 1 game or 2 games? Yeah, hopefully we'll do 2 games. It just depends on whether Aras plays or just stands and looks at the tables deep in thought. Using supernatural reflexes. Ooh, another follow. Thank you, VP1613. Using the supernatural reflexes, Aras is spending a force to perform a barrel or boost action, which in this case was obviously a barrel roll. However, if he had done the boost, which isn't on his... However, if you do that on a ship that doesn't have one of those actions and you perform that action, you will receive a damage. Okay. And another boost. Boost! My mic okay level, or would you prefer me to tune it down a little bit because it looks like it keeps on going into the red levels on. Okay, here we go. Suntir. Like Aras is debating whether to try and get Guri's side out of the way and not get screwed over. Then again, it's Suntir. He always goes in the middle of this stuff and then is stacked to hell and back. And then you can't even shoot him anyway because he's a pain in the ass. Oh yeah, but he's gonna have plenty of space to do that barrel roll. And says, "Hello, Guri," from point blank range. Okay, so let's begin the engagement phase. So, Guri, of course, receives her focus token again. Suntir gets another focus token as well, due to the fact that Guri is in his bullseye arc. And as well, since Suntir has Predator, Guri is in the bullseye arc, he'll get to re-roll 1 die. Yeah, no need, just focus. 4 hits. Sorry, Guri. Guri rolls all eyeballs, so there we go. Are we going to use that focus? Of course we are. Negating all but 1 hit, and Guri is shieldless. However, due to the whole upgrade, she is still left with 5 hit points. So, that leaves her at 0 shields. Okay, that's 2 hits at range 3. Suntir does Suntir, and meaning rolls almost all blanks, taking the first hit, reducing his hold to 2. And with the tractor token, moving him so that Guri can shoot back. With reduced agility as well, so for Suntir. Okay guys, you can stop embracing, you're on stream. Yeah, typical Aras rolls, yep. You can see how famous he is. Okay, so with the combo of outmaneuver and tractor, Suntir is reduced to 1 die. There we have 2 hits versus 1 die, which is an evade. 1 more damage card on Suntir. So he's not doing so hot, really, as much as he could be. Now we'll have the rest of the initiative 5 shots. Okay, so we're definitely at range 3. Players are debating whether it's through the rock or not. As the all-seeing eye, I declare that it is clean. So we will have simply, we're spending a force, counting it as range 1. Gives us, with a focus, 3 results, 2 defended, so only a single shield off of Ketsu. Still 10 hit points overall left. Okay. And the Punisher is beyond range 3 and is therefore unable to fire at Ketsu, and obviously unable to fire at Guri due to being bumped. Now, if you look at the top, you could see Aras's wristwatch for a second. It's a fake Rolex. You got it for 20 zloty at the Rynek Łazarski. Really cool dealer. It's where I got all my fake Rolexes from as well. Supreme Commander of No Blanks. Yep. You know, he specifically asked if you could use his dice before the stream started, so I'm starting to wonder if there's something up with dice. Of course, it's been tested. Supposedly his dice are not loaded. Just a lucky bastard. It was a term of affection this time, Aras. You don't have to look all sad. Pouty face. Lemwood, of course, again is ready. Ish. More ready, percentage-wise, than Aras. As Lemwood is 50% ready and Aras only 33% ready. Now we know that obviously what Aras wants to do is get as many target locks as possible. Now being with Redline's ability, after you perform an action you may acquire a target lock, he could automatically just in one turn get 2 target locks on both ships. However, in the current positioning it will be difficult to move in such a way that he can A, fire, and B, not bump into Guri, considering Guri and Ketsu both fly first. Rubel is now following with an spelling mistake because it's written with uzamknięte. If an American has to tell you that, you know you screwed up somewhere. Okay, now we have something new. Aras is ready before Lemur is ready. Clap, 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 clap. Lemur is now debating how to fly in such a way as to annoy Aras maximum effect. Everyone's ready. Aras does his little head bob, indicating yes. Okay. 2 straight from Ketsu, diving right into the fray. Or more, inching along into the fray. Focus, of course. Yeah. Wait, what do you mean Twitch doesn't allow Polish special letters in the chat or in like broadcast or what? Because it's been fine for the most part. Okay, Guri is doing a hard one. Then are we going to see a barrel roll or are we going to see a focus? Of course it's a barrel roll. But why? We'll have to see. Oh yeah, right. Well, still though. I remember when I set up a Club Penguin username when I was obviously much younger and, you know, Vogula wasn't possible to write correctly, so it's always Wogula. Okay, red line is not bumped. Definitely happy this time. Uri is out of the way. Amaimon123, thank you for the follow. We're now at... We're actually getting very close to our first achievement, getting affiliate, for which we are very thankful to everyone that has decided to follow us. We need to reach 50 followers. Currently we are at obviously less than that, but I can't remember exactly how many because I have to check the Twitch. Okay, and now they're still wondering what Redline is doing. Thread PL. Aras, Antek ci kibicuje, ale Murowi Lena. Ja dopinguję lepszego. There we go. They both did thumbs up, and obviously they're very touched by that thread. They are just powered on from that. Bravo. Okay, that's not Twitch, that's Jak Dojadę. Okay. So, okay. Still able to fire, just barely in the arc. Okay. 41 viewers. Holy cow. People like us for some reason. It must be because of my amazing voice. Okay, enough about me. Suntir did a major F up. Going right into Redline's butt. And as we all know, a tokenless Suntir is a very sad Suntir, and as we'll see, a soon-to-be dead Suntir. Okay, 30 followers. We're over halfway to our goal of 50. Lemur has no idea what to tractor now, considering that he has such a wealth of tractorable ships. Okay, so we want what time? Yeah, red line looks expensive. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not too bad. And it's 44 points. Sorry, 69 points, 44 base, and then with all modifications up to 69. But if you consider it's like divided by 3, and divided by 2 compared to X-Wing 1.0, well, then it's like a 35-point ship. So it's a nice chunk of the list, but it's not necessarily a huge amount. Right, let's get to the end of our next month, of the next month. We want to get 50 followers. Okay. Oh, well, there we go. 3 hits. Crit. Direct hit. Suffer a damage. That is right onto red line. So red line has been knocked down. So medium bases can be tractored now, but similarly to how it used to be that large ships require 2 ion tokens to ionize them, all bases can be tractored, but it is proportional to the base how many tractor tokens you need. So red line needs 2 tokens to be able to get tractored, like Sun Tzu needed 1, and then even another ship like the Lancer could be on a large base could be done, but it would need to be 3 tokens. Okay, so that's hit an eye and a blank, a statistical roll, versus the Inquisitor threw a rock. We now must decide what to do with this focus. Gonna spend it, so no damage to the Inquisitor. Okay, so red line is really hurting, having in that shooting obviously lost all shields and taken 2 hits as well, is now down to just 4 points. So if the battle were to end right now, Aras would lose half points for that. All ships now can be half pointed, unlike previous edition with only large ships. Oh, Aras of course rolling like Aras, 2 hits and a crit, natural, but then 2 hits. Get our first damage card. Stunned pilot. So similarly to what it used to be, if you execute a maneuver and you move through or overlap any obstacle, you suffer a damage. Goody is now feeling that lack of shields, as obviously earlier she wouldn't have been able to receive that. Down to 4 whole points. So with 5 whole points and 3 shields as for base, Aras has now also gotten half points for Goody. like I was saying earlier, everything now can be half pointed, so you get half of anything for MOV, assuming you remove half of the combined value of its shields and hull. Is really nice considering the previous edition's problems with something like Miranda, who was, never mind what word because we can't use that without Twitch banning us. A pain, to say it mildly. Okay, so Redline is on a rock and kind of screwed in terms of positioning, really only being able to go to the right, which obviously is definitely not a good position considering that they'll just get shot in the rear then and not be able to respond, though a proximity mine could be in the works. Suntir is miraculously still alive with his one whole point. Lemur is really considering how to get out of this without bumping anything, going through obstacles. Considering moving first is not an easy task. I'd say just 5 ahead and YOLO it, but I lose tournaments, so my advice is definitely. Ados obviously has it just that much easier considering that the field will basically be relatively empty compared to what it is now once it's actually hit. As long as you can remember how... Oh, X-Wing Junkies, thank you for hosting our stream. Any viewers we can get is huge for us. Hopefully this time Adas will remember how Redline is flying and how Suntir is flying and avoid a bump again. Looks unsure as to whether he'll actually manage it or not. Wow, 42 viewers. I like that. Cost TPL, thank you for the follow. Redline on the mustache? Yes, he is. He is right on the little rock there. Yep, leaving a proximity mine. Not saying that I called it, but I called it. Yeah, now as you probably noticed, Redline is able to drop the proximity mine before Lemur actually does anything, as opposed to how it used to be, where you would drop just before your movement. As we now have the system phase, which is basically used for things like bombs and any additional things that happen between the planning phase and the activation phase. As opposed... I know, I am the best fortune teller, and yet somehow I couldn't predict the World Cup save my life, and I was last in our office betting pool. Well, okay, I wasn't completely last. I was third from the end of 8 people, but the other people below me were people that hadn't bet on every match, whereas I had. So really, I was last. Okay, Ketsu is obviously not going to be able to clear that, so it's a bump into Suntir. Redline is definitely going to manage to get out of the way. And Bud is going to go over the rock just barely. Called it 4K. Is that a 5K? Bud doesn't actually get any damage. Oh, nice one, PTC. I am really, really jealous. And for the Euro in 2 years, you'll have to give me your secrets because I had no idea what I was betting on. Betting Lewandowski as striker of the tournament was definitely not a good idea. Jaki radziecki accent? I don't have a Soviet accent, Jacek. Go away. Suntir. Suntir fell. Comrade. This is the sowiecki szpione? Yeah, Croatia was definitely a surprise. Anyway, back to games that matter on the world stage, like X-Wing. Guri has finished her maneuver, pointing straight ahead. We have the Inquisitor moving now. Will maybe just barely be in the link, Now, using supernatural reflexes, Aras was able to move before activating, in this case, doing a barrel roll. So now is at range 1 of Guri. It's going to be beautiful. It's not a burger accent, it's a Mielone accent. Okay, and Suntir miraculously avoids a bump this time. Aras doesn't like me anymore. Fundan, thanks for the follow. We're actually here. Let me see if I can. Now. Wonder why you can't move something. It's when you realize that you set it locked. Okay, Suntir. How am I supposed to say? Yeah, Gowampki accent. I'll take that. I have a Gowampki accent. If I was on camera, I'd wear my hat, but I'm not. Okay, there we go. So that's now added. That's... There we go. There we go. Yay! So many follows. Yeah, it actually would probably. Okay, advanced proton torpedoes fired by Guri at the Inquisitor, obviously. This will probably hurt. Okay. And or not, considering the number of blanks, but we have 2 hits. Target lock is spent. It was only required to be there in order to shoot, but it didn't need to be used. And yeah, obviously the best choice to use the focus token and get 5 hits. Aras rolls a blank, changing it to an evade with the evade token. That's 2 evades, 3 hits come in, and the Inquisitor is now without shields and having suffered 1 damage under the shield. Oh, PTC, thanks for following. Okay. Thrud. Wow, so many follows. Thanks, guys. Okay, so that's 2 hits and a crit. Guri is defending. Statistical throw. 1 evade. That's a hit and a crit. And the crit this time is a loose stabilizer. So any non-straight maneuvers means that Lemur suffers the damage, but then automatically gets to repair this card, or can just do a non-straight maneuver and repair it as an action. That's, in my opinion. Yawa Baba Platsik, thanks for following too. Something that's really nice in X-Wing 2.0, and frankly, in my opinion, one of the best things that they changed is no longer needing to roll to get rid of some critical hits. Okay, so red line will be firing at Ketsu. Clean, no asteroid. Firing proton torpedoes. Okay, so we have 2 hits. Fire control system to reroll 1 of them. So that's 2 hits and a crit from proton torpedoes ability. Defending, and we have single evade, so that's a hit and a crit. So that's shields gone, and the crit is received, and it's a fuel leak. So after suffering any critical damage, Lemur has to suffer an additional damage on Ketsu and then automatically repair this card. Okay, so that puts now also Ketsu shieldless. We have 0 shields down to 8 hull. Lemur is debating whether to fly through the proximity 9 or not. Yeah, there are a lot of changes. It makes me somewhat interested now in actually playing again. But we'll see if I can actually be arsed. I'll still be doing Twitch streams, obviously, because I have the best voice in all of Raven Squadron. It was voted. We actually did a vote on it. And that's what was decided. So now with basically everything on Aras's side being at half health or less, Lemur now has 100 points out of the possible 200. So he's doing pretty well. Aras needs to get his rear in gear. Yeah, we did vote on best voice. I was the judge, jury, and executioner, and it was decided that I have the best voice in Raven Squadron. And the best knees. Though Aras was voted by me as being the best at making fart noises. Not real ones, thankfully. Debate continues as Lemur decides to YOLO it and go straight through the proximity mine or actually try a slightly different maneuver. Now he could just bank it now and not actually go onto it probably at all. At least that's what it looks like from here. And then I guess just adjust the arc backwards to be able to catch the Inquisitor. Suntir is obviously not getting any shots off. And Redline can move, though it would need to be straight ahead and through the rock again, which is a risk that Aras might not be willing to take. Aras has obviously decided that his initial maneuver for the Inquisitor maybe wasn't the best idea, and we've had a slight change. When I said so, Yatsik, we voted. So, fun facts about Raven Squadron. We're actually all really, really boring. It is absolutely surprising to me that no one agrees with the existence of the vote, because I am certain we had it. I just think the other 19 people in the group are wrong. Okay, 30 seconds lemon, or it's considered stalling. I know, Shimon, the Raven is obviously just perfection. There we go. So, here we go. Yeah, it was just a mind trick. I was trying to mind trick them and it didn't work. Okay, Guri. Do your thing, girl. 3 ahead. Okay, so Guri pulls ahead, getting out of the way of the Inquisitor unless he manages to reverse. Obviously not wanting to get shot at by him, because with his change anything to range 1 ability and the target lock that he currently has on her, it would be a pretty deadly shot, depending on obviously what you rolled. Yeah, so Ketsu has decided to completely avoid the proximity mine, which in my opinion is a wise choice, because you probably shouldn't be flying through bombs, but why not? I just do intro gaming at Pircom. We don't have bombs there. Yeah, called it. So the arc is currently pointing backwards. Okay, so yeah, red line just bumps. Don't think we'll have Ketsu therefore in range at all. Inquisitor uses a force point to use supernatural reflexes. Yeah, if you look at any of the cards, in this case the Inquisitor, you will notice that the force points number has a little upwards arrow inside it. which in this case means that the force powers do regenerate. There are some that only have a certain number available and that will not regenerate, but I can't think of any of those pilots right now. Yeah, so with that maneuver has now gotten just behind Ketsu, but will now barrel roll to get out of the way and get right behind Guri. Not a bad idea, but it will give her another focus. Not really that she'll be attacking back, but still 2 focuses are better than 1. And then Suntir, free bank, and too hard, 2 turn. Okay, it's very close, so hard to see exactly which way, so we'll just actually adjust red line, do the maneuver normally. I think it did make it, but it is really close. Okay. And yeah, and Suntir made it. Missed it by that much. Suntir. I'd say some bad things, Jacek, but there could be children watching. Okay, so now does Suntir boost? Of course he does. Guri is in not a good situation right now. As he's now gone into range 1 bullseye arc, he will get the focus for free at the start of the engagement phase. Guri will get the focus at the start of the engagement phase, which will also definitely be useful as she'll be attacked on 2 sides and be able to attack. There we go. We're now beginning the engagement phase. Starting off with Suntir, of course, as the first shot. Range 1 at Guri, which gives us 1, 2, re-rolling from Predator as it's in the bullseye arc. Spending the focus gives 3 hits. So she can still survive this, but hopefully she'll actually roll something. So defense with 3. Apologies for that. I had not actually... I see now that you guys thought that she might still have 4 holes. She only had 1, and so that obviously killed her as she is now at -1. Bye bye, Guri. You will be missed. Kosti, ein focus and then boost with Suntir using auto thrusters would give us stress, whereas this was stress free. So it was definitely the much better choice. So Ketsu fires at the Inquisitor. Alright. So 2 hits on red line, which wasn't defended. So red line is down to just 2. They will fire back, however, with proton torpedoes. So we have a hit and a crit. Let me get that. Yeah. Oh, Chris Neal, thanks for the follow. So defended. Okay. So, well, Lemur is now at half the squad strength. Not half points on Ketsu yet. So thank God for small miracles. Yeah, so basically we're at the Inquisitor on 1 HP. Red line on 2, Suntir also on 1. So really technically Lemur has twice the hit points that Aras has on 3 ships. But whether that will be enough to pull through, we shall see. I have faith in Lemur. I think Aras has just been pretending to know what he's doing for the past 4 years. Give me the... Yeah, she has it calculated on her action bar, so she could have done that for a stress as it's a red linked action. But basically, Lemur was keeping her at range 1 all the time in order to get her focus token from her pilot ability, in addition to her regular focus action. There we go. Ketsu. Just going to do a 5 choreogram. Get a bit out of the way. So we are nearing the end of this. I mean, red line is basically empty when it comes to any of their stuff. Yeah, proton rockets now they've changed. It's the only thing that red line has left, which is pretty cool. It's range 1 or 2 instead of range 1, which is nice. 5 dice, so just like the maximum you used to be able to get. Only in the bullseye arc though, and you only need a focus in order to trigger it. So actually I think I will be flying some A-Wings with proton rockets because it is so much fun to do that and get right in someone's face. Another follow, Archon86. Thanks for the follow. You're getting us just that much closer to our goal. And as we reach 50 followers, we only just need to make sure that we keep on streaming and have an average of, I think it's 3 viewers during all of our streams, which I think we basically crushed that. So now we just need to stream in the next few days 4 more times, I believe, and we will be eligible for affiliate. Okay, so we've had some maneuvering here. Obviously, not really much to do considering the vast ranges, so we're going to another planning phase. Let me just quickly temporarily disable Aras's ship so you can see where Redline is. I'm assuming the cards are there just for show. They don't count as obstacles. Good idea to move cards out of the way. Thank you, Aras. Okay, so as soon as he moves Redline again so that it's out of the way, I'll turn that back on. Or just intermittently. So on, off, on, off. Now you can see more of what's... Okay. Lemwood has it much easier now. Just one ship, plan the maneuver and go. We'll want to probably do a blue maneuver now to actually get rid of that stress and be able to do anything. Now blue maneuver in this case being just a 3 straight right into the middle of the fray. Okay, and the arc has been shifted forward as well. Anyone that is silly enough to fly that close will get double tractored. Always fun. Red line boost. Okay, so having done an action, red line is then able to acquire a target lock. Obviously, we now are within range 3, so that was no problem. Even if it's just base attack, which for red line is 2, it will be completely modified, so that will be... Okay, Inquisitor is arcing around. Debating for a second to do the target lock, but seeing that it's probably out of range, just be able to at least do an attack through the rocks, but still. Okay, and then as a linked action from the boost for a stress, he's able to focus. Untir has very wisely decided that he is GTFOing, considering that tractoring would be the death of him. And he's going to circle around with a hard 1 and then a boost around the rock. Then attempting a barrel roll. Out of the way, and with his auto thrusters, which now means something different than it used to in 1.0, is able to do a red barrel roll or boost, in this case barrel roll, after performing an action. So, Kuntir obviously isn't firing, so we're dealing with Ketsu first, as then one has priority, firing at red line. We have a hit, a focus, and a blank. No modification due to the arc being changed, and unfortunately, Aras manages to roll a natural evade. Due to the fact that it's within range 2, this will be painful. That's 5 dice on Ketsu for 1 charge. He only needed the focus, and he has a target lock. So we have a natural crit and 2 hits. Fire control system allows you a single reroll with a target lock, giving a blank. Spending finally the focus to turn the eyeball into a hit. So we have 4 hits total, 1 of them a critical. Lemur can now defend with 2 dice, rolling absolutely nothing, but using L337. So now all except for the blank, since I was rerolled from FCS, Aras has to reroll those. So getting 2 hits instead of 3 hits and a crit, definitely a worthwhile throw, and reducing his total number of hits sustained to just 2, since he didn't defend any. So we now have Ketsu at 6, but that does mean that Ketsu is... Oh no, sorry. Ketsu is not quite at half points due to having an initial beginning of 11, so she needs to get knocked down to 5 hit points before Aras will get the bonus. Okay, so Inquisitor rolls and gets a hit and a crit, defending by 3. So we have 1 evade, so the crit is sustained. Blinded pilot, then a fuel leak, giving... So direct hit now gives you the extra damage, and so from that we got 3 hits. So Ketsu is now down to how many hull? 2 hull. Sorry, 3 hull left. So it's not quite that bad. Will Ketsu manage to do something amazing now to pull through? Stay tuned and let's find out. Okay, fun fact of Raven Squadron number 2. Despite the fact that Chris and I share the last name and we're both foreigners as in Americans living in Poland, we're not actually related. It's an interesting coincidence. So basically, Jacek, the crits was blinded and then also fuel leak from the direct hit, and it just was painful. We will be adding in the future, we will be adding ways to just, pop up the image of the card so that you can see it directly. Okay, so that means Redline is now just down to their primaries, which is 2 attack, so it's lost most of its teeth, thankfully. But unfortunately, everything else still bites just as hard. The Inquisitor, obviously being able to regain force constantly, means that they can activate their ability whenever they want. Yeah, it was, Jacek, it was the first crit led to the next crit and then to another damage. So it was just the regular normal hit leading to one and another. So basically, yeah, since he had a fuel leak, suffered that, you got 1 damage for that, and then the other crit was then also a direct hit, so suffered another damage from that, which gave us 3, and all the cards being repaired, so at least there's nothing flipped over now. Not that that's really helpful. Oh nice, we're back up to 40 viewers. Right as things get interesting, more people are watching your demise, Lemur. He is very happy about that. You can't see it on his face usually because he's ginger, but he is happy. Yeah, the fuel leak basically the fuel leak led to another damage. So yeah, it's like due to the fact, so he got the critical hit, which was a direct. It also gives you another regular damage. Then since he had a fuel leak, its condition says whenever you suffer a critical hit, you suffer another damage from that. So that one critical hit led to one face-up card, and then fuel leak, which was already face-up, and direct hit led to 2 more face-down cards. Ketsu does turn to the left, drops the rigged cargo chute, and will that actually catch Redline or anyone else? We have yet to see. Okay, we're down to the last 15 minutes of this match, but I think the result is pretty much set. So you never know. Lemwood has surprised me before, generally by kicking my ass. Okay, so Inquisitor is right there. Obviously with X-Wing 2.0, they didn't change the rules with the same initiatives, so anything, even if Ketsu manages to kill either Redline or the Inquisitor, there still will be return fire. Considering Ketsu's agility and only 3 hull. Okay, we're gonna try a boost. Ballsy. Difficult to see because Ketsu's in the way, obviously, but maybe it will make it. Did. Some call it skill, some call it luck. I just call it the Aras Force. So, linked action giving him a focus. Of course, right onto the rigged cargo chute. Okay, and nothing, sadly. Oh, not. Sadly, no. That I wish that was a crit. That would have been funny. But Aras was lucky again. I mean, sorry, skilled. Skilled once again. 100% skill. No luck. Suntir is being very Suntir and just flying around everywhere that you can't shoot him. Suntir will actually be shooting for one. What a surprise. We have beginning of combat phase. The Inquisitor is obviously within range 1 of both arcs. He will get barrel rolled. Right there. Okay. Still within range 1, obviously, but that's 1 tractor beam, so reducing his agility from 3 to 2 when Ketsu fires, assuming Suntir doesn't kill her first. Which, frankly, I hope doesn't happen because that'll make a boring end to the game. So, a single hit and a single 1 makes it through. Okay, Ketsu now fires at the Inquisitor. Blanks out. Using Fearlessness is able to change one of them. But unfortunately, it's defended. Unfortunately, that should have been much more awesome than it was. Somehow won, so his 3 dice. gives us nothing. Instead of using FCS to roll 1, Aras decides to spend it and reroll everything. Turns out to be a good idea. Gives us 2 hits, one of which is defended. Koketsu is barely alive on a single hull point. Now see, this is the point where I would just rage quit and go onto the asteroid and hope I roll a hit or a crit. But that's just that was my hand you saw there for a second. Wasn't it phenomenal? Okay, so whichever way red line goes, unless it's directly to the right, I end up going through the rigged cargo chute again. Frontier thankfully moves after Ketsu. Bump. We have a hard turn to the left. Here we go. Do we try and modify and survive one more turn? Arc adjust. The arc is now pointing backwards. Inquisitor 3 straight to increase the range. As it was a blue maneuver, they will get rid of the stress, boost away, and then also focus just in case. But I doubt that's in range, so we'll see. Now, okay, it was still over the rigged. So it's a blue maneuver, get rid of the stress, but get it right again. And we have the crit. And it's, ladies and gentlemen, an ion token. Still though, is nice. So we have now everything on Aras's side is down to 1 hull point. We have nothing that has more than a single point of health left. Okay, Untir. Hard turn, hard 2 to the left. Focusing, and then having done an action using auto thrusters is able to then do a red boost to the left. And I'm now banking on being able to kill Ketsu before she's able to respond. Okay, so here we have maybe the final rolls. Have 2 hits and a crit. Blanks out, and that's the game. So that's unfortunately Ketsu at -2 now. Oh well, good game, good game. Yes, Aras has lots of swag. Yeah, so we're gonna do a quick... Okay, so we're just gonna take a quick break, reset, and then we'll be right back with another game in just 15 minutes. So don't go far, we will be back soon. And we're back! Woohoo! So, let's take bets now on whether Lemur has learned what he's doing and will actually kick Aras's butt now, or will Aras be once again victorious? I bet Lemur wins this time because Aras was just supernaturally lucky. So we've kept the same initiative order as last time, with Lemur setting up the first rock. Once again, pretty much in the middle. Aras once again going for the corners, but this time starting on the other side by Lemur's bottom left. Yeah, it's going to be the same ships. Ten się nie roz... Of course, their health is back up. Unsub, unsub. No, come on, it's still gonna be interesting, even if it's the same stuff. They're back up to full health. Everyone says nuda. No, playing with the same stuff. Nie po to nic nie robi. Look, you came here to see X-Wing 2.0 and to also see the amazing skills shown by both players today. What? Skill. Look at my skill. My skill is amazing. Give it a lick. It tastes just like raisins. The stroke of its mane, it turns into an X-Wing and... Say what? Ignore me. I just happen to sing too often. When yeah, dajcie no... An orc. Okay, so Aras is now spicing up the deployment, just like Lemur is as well, and we're going with something a bit more widespread this time. With Redline's base, probably because Aras is playing fair, square. Oh, okay, everything's set up. Wide again. Here we go, and let's begin the timer. We're using this time, 75 minutes. I will remind the players when it is getting close to the end. But based on last game, we probably won't run to time. We still had about 10 minutes left. Simon, don't complain. Just share the stream, please. So, we are at 36 followers out of 50. Which is not bad. Thank you everyone who has been following us especially since the start of this stream, because that is about 10 followers at least we've gained. And here we go. First maneuvers planned. Lemur is now playing for time, because he is boring like that. With a 1 straight ahead, keeping out of range, and surprise, surprise, a focus. Guri, however, will be playing much more relatively so aggressively, with a 1 hard to the left, moving towards the board edge, the barrel roll. Mr. Kostek, thanks for the follow. Okay, and let's start off here. The Inquisitor, is mirroring Guri exactly, with a 1 hard, but this time to the right. Thanks, Mucking. Any follows are always nice. I'm assuming you read the 1 as an I, I'm just guessing. Oh, but this time doing a barrel roll the other way, because he's not afraid of a fight, Lemur. And having done a 0 maneuver, so a stop maneuver on red line, we're left with Suntir charging straight ahead. Oak Sarlax, awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. Mucking is now following. 38 followers. I'd say we have a prize for the 50th follower, but I can't, that would be lying. We don't have anything planned yet. We should probably do that. Lemur has just done hand signals to me, which means he'll do a dance on camera when we hit 50. The dance, we'll put up a poll soon so you guys can decide. I want to see a belly dance. Okay, so everything's planned, I think. And we have another 1 straight from Ketsu Onion. Maybe adjust the arc. No, it's a... Okay, and Uri doing a hard again towards the Inquisitor, followed by a boost straight ahead. Okay. Doing supernatural reflexes. Flipping one of his 2 force points over, the Inquisitor does a barrel roll, once again towards the enemy side. Followed by a hard left, hard 1 left. And a focus as the action. Rachkis, we want to do streams as often as possible. We're hoping to hit affiliate, which means we still need to do within the next 2 weeks at least like 4 streams or so. So I think we'll try and do at least a weekly stream. Now it might be a little more often as we try and hit affiliate. Okay, so red line does a 1 bank to get rid of the stress, and then right away followed by a boost. So basically going straight ahead with a little bit of a side slip to port to the left. Suntir being Suntir does once again only hard maneuvers followed by barrel rolls. It's actually in the strategy guide for Suntir. Hard left, barrel roll, hard right, barrel roll. That's all Aras does with it. Once again, no engagement, as we have much too much distance between the ships. Now, Mucking, I understand Stoke Sarlax. You're from, as in Stoke-on-Trent, or is there another Stoke that I'm not aware of? I've only been to the one, so I'm just assuming that's where the Stoke Sarlax are from. Also, Archon, you say unsub, but we're not affiliate yet, so you can't subscribe. But when we are affiliate, I'll let you know, so you can subscribe and then unsubscribe if you really want to. Okay, all of our maneuvers are planned. Aras is double checking because he can't actually remember what he did. Old age. Okay, so let's start off with Ketsu. No, we're actually going to start off with Guri this time, shaking it up a bit. Who does a 3 bank to her left, bringing her straight up again, followed by a barrel roll, getting around the Inquisitor a bit. Very nice. Okay. And then with their linked action doing calculation, which is basically a mini focus, letting you change a single. I'm gonna quickly turn off this turn off our follower goal so you can see where Guri is. It will reappear shortly. Okay. Then Ketsu in the meantime has just done light turn, bringing her guns to bear. So let's see what the Inquisitor is doing first. Supernatural reflexes. The barrel roll towards Guri, followed by just focus. Now you are allowed to chain actions like that. Oh, hi Tixelli. Thanks for the follow. 39 now. Oh, so now you can see everything. Sorry, I clicked the wrong button. I said I was hiding the follower goal. But we have some range 1 shenanigans now. Inquisitor with an evade and a focus. So, having performed an action, red line, in this case a focus, red line is able to acquire a lock, obviously within range 3, so locks onto Guri. And then Suntir is also coming into the combat, that probably really too far to do anything, maybe take a pot shot at Ketsu. Okay, so boosting, if able, perfectly able. Then finally, with auto thrusters, having done an action, Aras is now able to barrel roll. Oh, Kayo, thanks for the follow. We're now at 40, by my calculations at least. Okay. In our engagement phase, Untir fires first, but unfortunately, Ketsu doesn't seem to be in the bullseye arc, which would have given him a focus. However, slight miscalculation, so just gonna fire at range 3. Yeah, definitely range 3. The range 2 ruler fits like a glove between the two. So we'll have the first roll, which is 2 crits and a hit. And I think you guys should just switch dice at this point. Okay, so obviously, now what do we do? Do we use 4? Okay, aggressively right away using L337 instead of right at the end like last game. Which was not bad considering it led to a single hit, which now can be defended with the focus. So very nice, Ketsu is clean. Nothing hit. L337 gave her life, or her card flip, in order to remove Untir's teeth, effectively. Okay, so we have Guri. First one. Now she got the calculation and the focus from her ability. So she's pretty tokened up as well compared to the Inquisitor. Question is, attack redline and maybe make him spend focus to defend, or just try and kill the Inquisitor? The debate continues. Okay. So firing at the Inquisitor first uses their ability, spends a force and removes 1 die, so only rolling 3 now. However, as we can see with the evade, those 2 crits are nothing, sadly. The Inquisitor can now return fire, giving us a single hit. Versus Guri's 2 natural evades. Eyeball. Okay, we're firing off proton torpedoes, with the target lock being necessary to fire, which gives us blanks, a hit, and an eyeball. Let us decide how to modify this. Kick butt. Kick names and take ass. I'm not going to say anything because they can actually hear me, and I don't want to help either side. Well, I don't want to help Aras. Okay, using fire control system for a single reroll. So with the focus now, proton torpedoes as well, modifying it to 2 hits and a crit. Versus Guri's 3 evades. Blinking out, unfortunately. So shields are gone. Well, that was unfortunate, but unfortunately it seems recently at least, whenever Lemord rolls 3 dice, it ends that way, at least in my experience when I played him. But then whenever I rolled 2 dice, I always blanked out as well. His luck affects everyone. So the target lock, since FCS lets you reroll the one die without spending the target lock, so we still have the target lock on Guri. Guri obviously needs to get out of the way because Aras still has one more shot with the Proton Torps and Proton Rockets if they get within range too. But also can't just go straight ahead because they don't want to get anywhere near the proximity mine that Aras will surely drop at some soon. And the Inquisitor is in the way. So poor Guri. Okay. Red Line's maneuver is already decided. However, for the rest of it, we're in quite the interesting situation. Suntir is obviously going to want to do one of his blue maneuvers. And the TIE Interceptor's blue maneuvers are... Yeah, so similarly to the previous edition, all two speed maneuvers are blue, allowing him to get rid of the stress, as well as his 3 and 4 ahead. So Lenwood can obviously surmise that he's probably not doing just a straight ahead maneuver, so probably using one of his 2s. I am guessing a hard 2 to the left. Maybe I'm right. Oh shoot, I did. Thanks for the correction, Kosti. Oh yeah, a two bank could be what's up as well. So he is moving last. Now Ketsu could know what he would want to be doing to get out of the way and do a maneuver in order to get in his way, and then maybe do something like adjusting the arc in order to really catch Suntir in a place he doesn't want to be. However, it needs to be both arcs in order for Ketsu to use either her tidal ability or her pilot ability. So really she's facing the wrong way either way, unless she also turns towards Suntir. Okay, so we have all maneuvers chosen. And now we go with Ketsu. Doing a straight maneuver. 4 straight. Followed by a focus. Guri is going 2 ahead, hence why we're moving the Inquisitor out of the way. Okay. Okay. Now what action to choose is the question. So we could focus, could calculate. Okay, so you could calculate, could target lock, or reposition. Decides to target lock in this case. Now Guri actually does not have the focus action anymore, which was completely unheard of in X-Wing 1.0, where everything had the focus action, from what I remember. Write me in chat if I'm wrong. So she relies on her pilot ability to get any focus tokens, since calculate is just a like 4-man's focus, really. So Inquisitor has banked and gotten the hell out of there. Is right to Ketsu's right, starboard. There we go, let's use space nautical terms. Now we're in a case where he knows he can't be fired at, and he can't fire at. So we're just going for a target lock to use in another round. Red line uses their lack of much speed to just go one straight ahead. Followed by a boost to get out of the way of Guri, who has red line target locked. Unsurprisingly, I would almost definitely. But I probably wouldn't because I have no idea what I'm. Get that back. Having done an action now, Redline obviously can do their pilot ability, or the second part of their pilot ability, which is acquiring a target lock. Now they have a target lock on both Ketsu and on Guri. Okay, so Suntir is joining the fray, coming right behind Ketsu. Focus action. Now we have the beginning of the engagement phase. Guri does have red line within range 1, so is able to focus from that, from her pilot ability. Red line is tractored due to Ketsu's pilot ability. So we have Suntir firing first at range 1, which gives us, okay, with the focus, gives us 4 hits. Versus an eye and a blank. Seeing as Suntir is the only person really firing, it might not be that bad idea to use it now. However, it would be nice to have it when firing against Redline at range 1, who is also tractored. Seeing as obviously now Redline has no agility, so anything Lemur manages to roll, plus the focus if he decides to keep it, just goes in. It would be a huge boon for taking Redline out as quickly as possible. Especially considering that Redline has only used one of the munitions, one of the charges really, so it's still left with proton rockets, both proximity mines, and another proton torpedoes. Not a bad idea, but we're going to play defensively this time. So taking 3 of the hits, sorry, and therefore now losing. There was a hit earlier, so losing all shields and then also receiving a single damage card. Okay. Using Fearless and the natural rolls, red line is down 2 shields, so down to 1 shield, still 6 hull. So using the title, Uri's title de Virago, in the end phase, can do a boost action, a red boost action for spending a single charge. So now having 1 more, so oh, I am that Dave. Which Dave? Oh, who goes first? Well, Lemur has initiative, so they will move all their ships first, seeing as we're all on 5 initiative, and then Suntire is on 6. "52 viewers, 41 followers. We are doing well." Okay, so that's 1 out of 2 of the charges on Virago used. So Lemur, like I said, can use that trick just 1 more time. Let me move that out of the way again until people actually move. Okay, so that leaves Guri with really wanting to do anything that's blue and get rid of that stress as quickly as possible. Asotos, thank you for the follow. And yes, chat, you are correct. Lemur is forgetful. I won't hurt his honor and say it's anything else but forgetfulness. So yeah, red line is actually still at 2 shields. Only a single hit went through. Final mystery, what is the Inquisitor doing? Okay, dials are put down. Yeah, the system phase first, so Aras could decide to drop a bomb now, which based on the fact that we're not moving seems to be the case. Yeah, we're dropping the first proximity. And hi Tixeli, hi from Poland. I'd say something in Italian, but I can't remember anything now. Okay, let's get started. Lemur decides to move Guri first. Bank 1 to the left. So it's a blue maneuver, getting rid of the stress. We have that target lock on red line still, while at the same time being target locked. Okay. Buonasera. Yes, very good. Amaimon. Having barrel rolled out of the way. Okay, we now have Ketzel doing a very, very ballsy 5 choreogram just out of the way of the proximity line. Obviously, masterful piloting. Start off with the Punisher. Please also do a choreogram. Of course. I like how when they play, it's only the medium and large base ships that are doing any sort of choreograms. Inquisitor using supernatural reflexes for his barrel roll. Not linking any additional actions and then doing their maneuver, which in this case is a 3 bank. To the right. And just a focus for the action. Now let's finish up with Suntirfel and see what he has planned. Okay, so Suntir is just a bank towards Ketsu. Obviously going to want to stay out of range 1 to not get the tractor from Ketsu's ability. Unless he has balls and it's just going to go all in. Oh yeah, that's Aras. You can see him on camera. Pretty face. Having done an evade, Suntir can now do a linked action. So a red barrel roll or a red boost. The TIE Advanced prototype has doesn't actually have anything built in like that. However, the Grand Inquisitor does have force powers now. It allows them to also use force cards, force upgrades. Okay, so all movement has been done. Suntir does have Ketsu in their bullseye arc, which is the smallest part in the middle. Okay, so 2 hits, reroll with Predator. Okay, so just 2 hits, not using the focus. Both evaded. So Lemwood had a nice bit of luck there. Came in handy. So Ketsu fires back. With the evade though, unfortunately, nothing through. Noguri can just about see Suntir, so she will take a shot as well. Rolling a single hit. But then with Suntir's evade, nothing makes it through. So as you have noticed, Suntir is just as annoying now as he used to be. Yeah, the Prototype Inquisitor does not have the X1 title anymore, or anything like it. So that title has been removed. And for the most part, officially, the idea with 2.0 was to remove a lot of the ridiculous action economy that was provided in 1.0, with the Inquisitor with the title and PTL being able to do 3 actions in a turn. Now, with linked actions, many ships basically have PTL built in, but it's always for a stress. There's very few just free actions. And of the ships here, you really only have Redline here that is able to do 2 actions without any sort of negative in the form of stress. Yeah. So as I'm not gonna try and pronounce your online nick, Konju. Yeah, just the Lambda and the Decimator have a title card now for the Empire, at least in 2.0. And I'm still trying to figure out who I Am That Dave is, because there can only be one Dave, and I am the Dave. And speaking of the Empire in 2.0, don't forget to tune into our Facebook page, which you can see linked below if you're watching this on a computer or on a mobile device. You can see a link to our Facebook page, and tomorrow we will be posting our final Top Gun article about some of our favorite pilots that have now shown up in X-Wing 2.0. So some new, but mainly just those that have now been tweaked in some way compared to 1.0, in which have the most fun abilities and possibility of jank, really. Yeah, the supernatural reflexes does let you do it does let you do 3 actions, especially since you can link them, get the stress, and then move it. But you are also costing the force, which potentially means that you can't use your pilot ability to the full extent, as you need force for both activating the pilot ability and if you wanted to use supernatural reflexes. You're not the American Dave. I'm the American Dave. Okay, and we have the final maneuver prepared. Oh no, Adas is like, actually I don't want to do that. Adjusting his dials. Thankfully Lemwood hasn't moved yet, so it's legal. Okay. Okay, Ketsu 3 bank to still get out of the way of that proximity mine. Was perfect flying, if you ask me. Missed it by that much. Okay. Followed by focus, the action. Yeah, three actions is still pretty outstanding. I mean, to be fair, it is 73 points total for what Aras has with fire control systems and supernatural reflexes plus the Inquisitor's base of 58. So you're still looking at a huge part of your list being tied up in that. Okay. Hello, Dave. My wife now. Okay, so we have a 1 bank from Redline. Getting rid of the stress acquired by the K turn last turn. So doing the focus. Okay, Inquisitor. But if you can't tell on camera, though, hopefully you can see is facing the other way. So let's see what Aras does. I'm assuming turning towards Guri in order to engage. So using supernatural reflex is going to boost. Linking it into an eyeball and then getting stress from that, though obviously I'm guessing now doing such a maneuver that gets rid of the stress. Okay. Okay, so the 1 hard is somehow a blue maneuver for the Thai advanced prototype, somehow. So basically has gotten rid of it, and now Aras can move, gotten rid of the stress allowing him to do actions, and is now able to move his target lock onto Guri. And Suntir bumps. So we get Tractor on red line, the focus on Guri. Ketsu is just barely, but still in Suntir's bullseye arc, so getting the focus from his pilot ability. So we'll first have a Ketsu firing at red line. After spending the focus, giving us 3 hits and a crit. And since they've been tractored, no dice. That shield's gone, and then a hull breach, which means that until he repairs this, which is an action, it will mean that he suffers criticals instead of regular hits. And now with the second token after the attack, gets barrel rolled directly in front of the asteroid. Sorry, fearlessness. Okay. Woody fires at red line now. Hit and 2 focuses. Could spend it or use the target lock. Either modification is possible, though obviously focus would also be useful for defense. Yes, I know it's fearlessness. Don't need 3 people telling me that. Oh, yeah, so you guys are actually wrong. It's fearless, not fearlessness. Yeah. Yeah, what it says in the upper left corner is actually correct. Okay, so we're going to use FCS first and do a single reroll. So just using that, no loss of focus, no loss of the target lock. So first the crit, reducing weapons. And stun pilot, so can't hit obstacles without getting damage. That's 2 critical cards now that need to be fixed for an action. So he will have to decide what he's fixing next turn, assuming he doesn't go through the asteroid and loses his action. Yeah, all the FFG did drop the Nemesis. This is. So, proton rockets at Guri. That's 2 hits. Uses the lock to reroll, which gives us a crit. And then using the focus, 3 hits and a crit. Guri defends. Rolls like Lemur has been rolling. 2 hits and a crit make it through since she's without shields. Giving us down to just 2 hull points on Guri, and the crit was a fuel leak. So spending a force to the Inquisitor, force doing range 1. Natural 2 hits and crit, of course. Aras is too lucky. So Guri, unfortunately, due to the fuel leak, resulting in those being crits, is basically fuel leak leading obviously to any extra damage that isn't defended due to there being a crit there. So Guri is very, very happy. Trying to see a trend here with Guri dying right away. But there's not much you can do against Aras's obscenely good luck. Okay, and skill. I won't be that mean. Yeah, Lemur does not have enough luck. It's unfair. Oh, I'm assuming that's in Polish, so I'm just gonna say Celever or Kelaware. I don't know. Let's put that. Thanks for following. Yeah, exactly, Kosti. Those kind of rolls just lose the game for you. Yeah, the Punisher's been like really buffed, I would say, in this one. Rest in pieces, Guri. Okay, so Redline will start off with just dropping a proximity mine. Okay. .007 Nick Bond, thank you for the following. Okay, now does Quetzal miss the rock? It has been decided that okay, we're checking if there's a bump. It's definitely a rock if there's no bump. Okay, and does Redline fit? Redline does not fit, so unfortunately it was definitely a bump. Thanks, Nick Bond. This is actually our first official one, so it's nice to hear that we're doing a good job. What are our feelings about 2.0? Well, I'll say... Oh, Pan Indar, thanks for the follow. I will say my feelings are 2.0 is I like what they've done with a lot of the cards. So I'm looking forward to really just playing it some more as well. We've actually chosen these lists to show as many new things in 2.0 as possible. Hey, that's okay. The fact that you're writing here in English is great. If you forget something in English, just write in French. I had it in high school, so maybe I can still remember something. Yeah, Aras is rolling way too many hits. Okay, lose stabilizer. And stun pilot leads to red line blowing up. So there we go. Finally, something happening to Aras. Okay. Ink. Aras can't remember which way he's flying. Yeah, no, anyway, feelings about 2.0 is so far optimistic. I need to get a few more games under my belt to see whether I actually want to get back into the game as much as I used to be, because I really haven't played in over 6 months just because I was getting really annoyed with the state of the meta and what things were looking like. I love the fact that there's force powers though, so I'm really tempted to do all Jedi lists if possible and just do force everywhere, because it's something that's very thematic about Star Wars that they were missing. Okay, so Inquisitor moving into fire on Ketsu, and then Suntir is right behind. Just about has her in arc and is focusing as the action. Okay, Suntir fires first, a natural crit and a 2 hits at range 1 versus an eyeball. Nothing else, so that's the 2 hits and then a critical, which is a hull breach. Inquisitor firing at range 1, reroll with FCS and then using the focus. Once again, 2 hits and a crit. Evaded, so that's just a crit. And unfortunately, it's stun pilot. So quite a painful round for Lemur, down to just 3 hull on Ketsu. Red line is out of it, at least. Oh, Mawa2322, thank you for the follow. Okay, so, and we'll see what Ketsu manages to do here. He's down to only 3 hull, and unfortunately Inquisitor and Sunti are both untouched. Yeah, so earlier, stunned pilot is the same as it was. So it's just if you do a maneuver and you move through or overlap an obstacle, you suffer a damage. So that's also what killed Redline. And then Hull Breach is basically turning hits into crits. So if you would suffer 1 or more normal damage, you suffer critical damage instead. And again, like I've said, you can repair most crits, or well, quite a few crits, you can repair as just an action and you flip it. No dice rolling this time, which also, returning to your question, I guess if you're French, about 2.0, I love the fact that there's no dice rolling to get rid of crits, because that was always just stupid. And frankly, extremely frustrating to devote, to lose an action basically to get rid of a crit, and really only have a technically 50% chance to get rid of it. But in my luck, it might as well have been a 0% chance. And that's the game, because Aras rolls like a madman and Lemur can't roll to save his life. Unfortunately. Well, poor Lemur, his face makes me want to hug him now, so I think I'm going to do that real quick. Uri is in 100 and... or is she 102? No, she's... yeah, she is 102. Man, my calculations suck. Yeah, they do cost a lot. The new Suntir I like. I think that since he doesn't have to, since you do have to fly him a lot more carefully, it's not just, oh, can I boost or barrel roll anywhere I want. To get the focus token, it's not an automatic thing like it used to be. It's now it's now actually managing to get them in your bullseye arc. So not even just in arc, but an even smaller bit of the arc means that you do have to show a bit more good flying. Runner AZ, thank you for the follow. Holy cow, we're almost at our goal. 4 more people. Third match. No, sorry guys. Most of us, okay, all of us have jobs that are playing and streaming here, and we just planned on doing the 2 games, and then hopefully coming back soon with new lists. Definitely going to do a Rebel one next time, since now we've just shown the Scum and Empire, and I think we'll definitely show more X-Wings, because those are the ones that they've really shown. So I think we might as well do another, on the next stream, use some of the X-Wing pilots and other Rebel pilots we talked about in our Top Gun article. Which also, guys, if you want to, please make sure to click our Facebook. The link is down below. Like our page. We were just at 420 likes, but I don't mind that number changing, even though 420 is a funny number. Yeah, we are recording this, and it will be in the Twitch VODs. So if you click on videos under the video player that you see here, you will be able to see it. It will be up there for 2 weeks, definitely. And we will be, within those 2 weeks, give or take, definitely getting it up on our YouTube channel, which also is linked below. So feel free to click that and subscribe to make sure you get those videos as soon as they show up. Pan Indarias, work is importanter, though, than X-Wing. Okay, so with that, yeah, we will share on the Facebook groups. We'll let you know when the next stream is. Like I said, look at the page. That's the place where you'll see it first. The page is just below. Make sure to click that link and like it, and you'll get our updates all the time. For now, that would be that's all for us for tonight. So we will see you soon. May the Force be with you. Bye.